UFC, the world leader in MMA. Experience it on Fox Sports 2.
Welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma. The oil capital of the world is about to strike it rich with their first UFC fight card in almost 20 years. The drought comes to an end tonight, and it's headlined by Batman, former lightweight champion Benson Henderson. The #1 contender will have his hands full, though, because he's facing this man, Rafael dos Anjos. The Brazilian has defeated 5 of his last 6 opponents and knows a victory over Henderson would catapult him to the top of the division. Plus, the co-main event features a youth versus experience bout when the 24-year-old Canadian Jordan Meehan tussles with the 38-year-old Mike Pyle. The UFC weigh-in show starts right now. And here's a look at Tulsa smack dab in the middle of America's heartland. Not since UFC 4 has the Octagon touchdown in the Sooner State. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Karen Bryant alongside a pair of former UFC champions, light heavyweight Rashad Evans and welterweight Matt Serra. Rashad, good to have you back here.
It's good to be back. It's been a long time, but I'm excited. I get to be here talking about what I love most, fighting.
Awesome. And Matt, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been?
I can't complain. I'm hanging out with you guys. How could I complain? I got 3 kids, 2 schools, a stable of fighters. I'm just excited to be here.
You do work with this guy named Chris Weidman. He's pretty good.
You heard of that guy?
I have heard of that guy.
He's amazing.
He's pretty good.
He's all right.
We're going to dive right into our main event, Rashad. No question, Benson Henderson is one of the best lightweights in the UFC. What can fans expect to see out of him tomorrow?
Well, we know that he's great with his striking. He has dynamic takedown, and he has his new jiu-jitsu black belt that he loves to show off. But you know what I'm most impressed about? His mindset. His mindset since he lost his belt has just been on destruction. He's lost that fight, and now he's come back hungrier than ever. This is going to be his 3rd fight since losing a belt, and he's not going to stop until he gets a chance to get that belt again.
All right, now, Matt, obviously we know Benson, a former champion, is good, but how good is Dos Anjos?
Extremely good and extremely dangerous. He's equally standing and on the floor. He could end the fight at any moment. He's got a wicked arm lock, KO power in each hands. He's a danger for anybody in the lightweight division.
Yeah, speaking of that arm lock, he does have 8 submission wins, definitely looking for his 9th. In our co-main event, 13th-ranked Mike Pyle has a tough out against Jordan Meehan, who knows a victory over Pyle will put him in the top 15. We're going to toss it to the 4th member of our broadcast team who's got some inside info on that match, Heidi Androl.
Thank you very much. It's veteran Mike Pyle who will take on the Canadian Jordan Meehan in this one. Now, Jordan Meehan was just 9 years old when Mike Pyle started fighting in MMA, but don't let that fool you. The 24-year-old already has 37 professional fights under his belt. He is 2-1 in the UFC, and he said back in the day he actually used to fight 6 times per year. Now, this is the 3rd opponent for this fight where Mike Pyle steps in. He said that doesn't make a difference at all. He's been focused on his own game plan. The keys for him in this one, footwork, timing, and not overcommitting. As for Mike Pyle, he's just a few weeks away from his 39th birthday, and he's looking to show Jordan Meehan just how much gas he has left in the tank. He said he's made a few minor adjustments for his new opponent. He was set to face Damian Maia. He went out with an injury. Jordan Meehan, a very different opponent, but he said small changes. He said it's about being in tremendous shape, and he is. He has a great team around him. He's been going to his jiu-jitsu classes. He said that's what makes the difference. The biggest factor for me in my mind was, does this age come into it at all? And he said absolutely not. His fight style is what has given him longevity in his career. He is not a rock'em, sock'em, robot-type fighter who takes a punch to give one. He said he likes watching those fights, but that's not his style, and that's why he's still fighting today. Will it be youth or experience here in Tulsa that will win out? Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Heidi. Now keep it locked right here at Fox Sports 2, because when we come back, Henderson, Dos Anjos, Meehan, Pyle, and the rest of tomorrow's fight card make it official in Tulsa. The UFC Fight Night weigh-in show will be right back. Welcome back to the UFC weigh-in show. It is time for the fighters to hit the scale. So we're going to toss it down to John Anik, who is standing by in Oklahoma. Take it away.
Oh, it's great to be back here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. How about a hand on Octagon Girl, Christy Blair, the undisputed best matchmaker on the planet, Joe Silva, the All-American Brian Stan is here, and the man Tony Barboza bringing up the rear. We begin things with the UFC Fight Pass prelims. First up in the flyweight division, Wilson Haste versus Joby Sanchez. First fighter to the scale making his UFC debut is Joby Sanchez.
Wednesday, don't miss UFC Tonight, featuring the best insiders and analysis in the sport as we recap all of this weekend's fights and break down the matchups for next Saturday's UFC 177. UFC Tonight is Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
$125 for Joby Sanchez. And his opponent, Wilson Haste.
Tomorrow, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader as Buster Posey and the Giants take on the NL East leading Nationals. Then Freddie Freeman and the Braves square off against the Reds. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
$124 3/4 for Wilson Haste. All right, now we get to the UFC Fight Night prelims on Fox Sports 2. First up in the welterweight division, Ben Killer B. Saunders versus Chris Stump Heatherly.
Tomorrow, UFC Fight Night returns to Fox Sports 1 with a full card of bouts, including a lightweight matchup between #1 ranked Benson Henderson and 5th ranked Rafael dos Anjos. It all starts with the pre-fight show at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 2. Then catch the main event at 10 Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
$170 for Chris Heatherly. And his opponent, we welcome back to the UFC, Ben Saunders.
Ben Killer B. Saunders. He was on season 6 of The Ultimate Fighter, my season. He was on my team. Very well-rounded fighter. The thing to watch out for is his Muay Thai clinch. It's devastating. He gets those hands wrapped around your neck, the fight can be over in an instant.
$170 for Ben Saunders. All right, moving on now with a prelim in the bantamweight division. Aaron, the Model Phillips, versus Matt, the Crowbar Hobart.
Matt Hobart's father is his hero. He actually wrestled when he was in high school and in college. He got Matt into judo when he was 4 years old. His dad, now a doctor, has a nonprofit called LEAP, where he travels around with other doctors performing surgeries on babies with cleft palates.
$135 for Matt Hobart. And his opponent, Aaron Phillips.
Sunday, the NFL preseason continues on Fox with a full day of coverage, beginning with fantasy football uncensored, followed by the Big Catch 2014 football preview featuring Randy Moss. Then it's Chargers versus 49ers live from brand new Levi's Stadium. The action starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox.
$135.25 for Aaron Phillips. Our next bout is in the lightweight division. Beneil Dariush versus Tony Martin. First fighter to the scale, Tony Martin.
Tony Martin drove 3 hours for good training camp up in Minnesota. He worked with former UFC and WEC fighter Brock Larson. He said Brock has taken him under his wing, taught him how to do things right in the octagon, but also in everyday life.
$155.5. $155 and a hook for Tony Martin. And his opponent making his third UFC appearance, Beneil Dariush.
Sunday, Street League Skateboarding is in New Jersey for the 2014 Nike SB Super Crown World Championship as the top 8 riders of the year compete in a winner-take-all event. Our coverage begins Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
$155.5. Next up should be a good one in the welterweight division. Neil Magny versus Alex the Dominican Nightmare Garcia.
I spoke to Alex Garcia's strength and conditioning coach, John Chamberg, and he said the main focus of this camp was to work on Garcia's conditioning. Garcia has a tendency to go hard in the beginning but fade later on in the fight. They made great improvements on his conditioning by working his work-to-rest ratio.
$170 for Alex Garcia. And his opponent, Neil Magny.
After every single fight, Neil Magny travels to Chicago to spend a week with his grandmother. He said it gives him a chance to get some rest and, of course, her famous Haitian red beans and rice Creole style. No doubt Grandma is proud and looking forward to seeing her grandson get his 4th straight win of 2014.
$170 3/4 for Neil Magny.
Welcome back to the Fox Sports Desk here in Los Angeles. 5 down, 6 to go for today's weigh-in. You can see the next 12 fighters tomorrow exclusively on Fox Sports 1, starting with Chaz Skelly versus Tom Ninamaki. Ninamaki first to the scale.
You know, Tom, Tom Ninamaki is one of my teammates at Black Zillion Camp, and he's from Finland. And when he first came down, he had to train with the likes of Eddie Alvarez, Michael Johnson. And let's wait for a minute while he steps on the scale.
145 145 for Tom
Train with the likes of Michael Johnson and Eddie Alvarez and Abel Trujillo. Now, when you got that, it's hard coming because you got to make sure you rise to that pace. So,
oh yeah.
Chaz Skelly was in the right place at the right time to start his MMA career. He was actually coaching kids wrestling when a woman walked into his gym and said there was a pro at her gym about his size. Could he wrestle? He said yes. It turned out to be Johnny Bedford. The two have been instrumental in one another's careers.
$145 and a half. $145 and a half for Chaz Skelly.
Uh-oh, old school wrestling. A little bit of fun.
It's great.
Going for the shot.
Our next bout is in the lightweight division. James the Texecutioner Vick versus Valmir Bidou Lazaro.
Lazaro riding a 3-fight win streak out of Brazil and their organizations out there. And, you know, he's teammates with Henderson, former champion Jose Aldo. Now, if I was to look at his style and compare it, I would say he's a mixture between Jose Aldo and Henderson with a twist of Anderson Silva. So he's got that devastating striking ability, and this guy's definitely hungry because he's with the champs and he knows how to get it done because there's only one way to get it done in a ring, in the cage in practice, and that's how he knows how to do it.
It's quite a pedigree.
Quite a pedigree indeed.
155 for Valmir Lazaro. And his opponent, James Vick.
Well, James Vick has had 18 to 20 jobs before he decided to make fighting his full-time career. He's living now in the basement of a fighter house near Lloyd Irvin's gym up in Maryland. He said that makes him hungry and motivates him to live his dream.
154 3/4. 154 3/4 for James Vick.
Lazaro looks ready, boy.
He's ready to go.
You want to fight right now.
All right, our next fight will be contested at a catch weight of 149 pounds. Max Blessed Holloway versus Cassius Clay Collard.
Collard is making his UFC debut, late replacement. And you know what? There's something great about being a late replacement, being the fact that there's not that much pressure on you. But at the same time, you're still in the UFC for the first time, and you're under those lights, and you're hearing the fan, and you're on a stage like you've never been before. So it has a tendency to drain you. But you know what? You don't got nothing to lose. So it's a win-win in a sense.
Yeah. And everything to gain.
Yes, indeed.
It is his debut, but he's got 8 KO wins and has finished 7 opponents in the first round.
$149 3/4 for Clay Collard. And his opponent making his 9th UFC appearance, Max Holloway.
Being 5'11", Max Holloway is tall for a featherweight, and he uses that length. He's got great spinning back kicks, good takedown defense, and a nasty guillotine.
Fun to watch, too.
Really fun to watch. He's one of my favorite guys, too, to watch at that weight class, you know?
You like those shorts, Rashad?
Yeah, he almost fell down.
49 on the back. 149 on the nose for Max Holloway.
That's a welcome to the UFC, son look right there that Max just gave him.
Yeah, he might get sun tomorrow. He might get sun tomorrow.
Next up, it is a feature bout in the middleweight division. Francis Limitless Carmon versus Kalish Leitis.
Kalish Leitis has world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He gets on top. He has one of the best head and arm chokes in the business. He can end that fight from cross-side, from mount. It's devastating. Not only that, he's got improved striking, as he's shown, versus Trevor Smith, which the fight he ended in 45 seconds of the first round.
Yeah, Talis has 13 wins by submission, so don't be surprised if he ends the fight that way tomorrow.
$185.25 for the former middleweight title challenger, Kalish Leitis.
He's got some facial hair
His
there.
opponent, currently ranked number 12 in the world, Francis Carmon.
Carmon from France. He decided to dedicate himself 100% to MMA, so he moved down to TriStar with GSP, and GSP has been his mentor ever since, and he's shown glimpses of that GSP style with his takedown, but it's going to be on the takedown defense tomorrow, in which he's really going to have to show that GSP style in effect.
$185.75 for Francis Carmon.
Man, he's a big middleweight. Big boy.
Big dude.
All right, now we get to the co-main event in the welterweight division. Mike Quicksand Pyle versus Jordan Young Gun Meehan.
Jordan Meehan coming into this fight with a 28-9 record. 15 of those wins have come by KO, and he has finished 18 opponents in the very first round.
You know, it's amazing because he's so young, but he has so much experience. And, you know, this guy's been fighting since he's been 10 years old, turned pro, and amateur, 16-0, and just so much experience at such a young age.
170 1/4 for Jordan Meehan.
And look, he's just so relaxed.
Making
So
his
relaxed.
14th UFC appearance, Mike Pyle.
Mike Pyle is a true veteran of the sport. We're talking 15 years pro MMA experience. That's going to mean he's going to be calm under fire. He's extremely well-rounded. And can I just point out the mullet, please? Not many. He calls that the Tennessee waterfall.
It's fantastic.
170 3/4 for Mike Pyle.
I'll tell you, not many people could make that look work, but he does.
Maybe we can
Him and Benny
Photoshop
Powers,
that onto
that's
your
about
head, Matt. Let's get that going.
That won't work for me. I don't.
All right, now it's time to take a closer look at the two men who will be involved in tomorrow night's lightweight main event. Take a look.
Benson Henderson versus Rafael dos Anjos is an excellent fight between two of the very best guys in the 155-pound division. With Benson Henderson, you have the former champion who has been on a tear. He seems more disciplined. He seems more aggressive. He seems more intense. And that is what he's going to need to be in order to be the champion again.
I think I have gotten better each and every time I step into the octagon. A little bit less holes in my game. I beat Rafael dos Anjos by doing what I always do, by keeping my game plan, by pushing the pace, by keeping them guessing.
Seized by Henderson. Henderson really firing away.
Fighting Rafael dos Anjos is going to be a big test for myself. A lot of people don't realize how tough Rafael is. He's on a 5-fight, 6-fight win streak, beat up a lot of good guys inside the UFC, so I'm not taking him lightly.
Wow, what a powerful takedown.
I don't fight to win by decision. Against Benson Henderson, you guys are going to see the best Rafael dos Anjos ever.
Got a left kick right to the head. And dos Anjos put him away. He has it. That rear naked choke is in, and it's in tight. Charles has the tap.
I have more weapons than Benson Henderson to win this fight. I'm Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, black belt for 9 years already. I've been training Jiu-Jitsu for 15 years. I've been working a lot on my strike.
Nice body shot there by dos Anjos.
I'm gonna walk him forward, I'm gonna put the pressure on him, I'm gonna hit him hard. He's a great fighter, but that's my time. I'm gonna win this fight.
Rafael feels he's great everywhere. I feel the same way. I can do everything also, anywhere he goes.
Some violent strike.
So I'm not sleeping on Rafael. I'm going to bring my A game. I'm going to make sure that it's me who's pushing the pace and make sure I get my hand raised against Rafael.
First fighter to the scale in his first UFC main event. Number 5 in the world, Rafael
We'd
dos
like to
Anjos.
welcome those who are watching America's pregame. You're about to watch the weigh-ins for tomorrow's UFC main event on Fox Sports 1 between Benson Henderson and Rafael dos Anjos. Matt Serra, tell us about dos Anjos.
I'll tell you, that's one dangerous dude right there. I mean, KO power in either hand on the floor. Watch out for the limbs. He's good at. He's got a nasty arm lock.
We know how good Donald Cerrone is. This man beat Donald Cerrone.
55 on the bet.
155 for Rafael dos Anjos. And his opponent, he is the former UFC lightweight champion of the world, Smooth Benson Henderson.
You know, as a fighter, and every single time, I always analyze every fighter, and there's different attributes about a fighter that you always kind of, you like. And he has so many that I like, but recently, his mindset, his hunger has made me an even bigger fan of him. You know, he said, listen, he's going to take the whole lightweight division on his back. While there's some stagnation between the champion, he's going to fight and stay busy to keep everybody interested in the division.
155.5 for Benson Henderson.
his legs like Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely.
All right, that makes it official. Thank you all so much for coming out. We'll see you right back here for the fights tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you very much, John Anik. Welcome back to Los Angeles, folks. Guys, the fights are official. Rashad, I want to know your first impressions.
Well, I mean, you know, it was a great way, and everybody, you know, nothing foolishness happened, but you can see the intensity. These guys are ready. They're going to do some work tomorrow, man.
Matt, what about you? What are you most excited to see tomorrow?